So I feel like the general vibe most YouTubers put out when they make videos is, oh, I wonder what people who are subscribed to me and not subscribed to me really want to see. I wonder what people who make all this YouTubing around possible would be interested in this fine day. Would they want to see me playing Among Us with the likes of cool people like Loey Lane, Emma, Nexpo, and Corpse Husband?
I was in Reactor because I had to do Simon Says and the Manifolds, and while I was doing the Manifolds, someone killed Emma.
I don't know what Manifolds even
I think,
means.
is that the balancing the engine?
That's the numbers where it goes like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's like all
Alright.
like, Corpse, where were you?
And other cool people who are 100% more interesting than I am? Would they want a video of just Corpse Husband simply saying, y'all want to get sweaty to everyone during that game on a loop?
You guys want to be sweaty?
What?
You guys want to... Wait, did someone just die?
Oh.
Probably, but am I going to give them that content? Of course not. Namely because I really don't know how to record gameplay or audio from Discord, and therefore making a gameplay video where you hear all the cool cats and kittens I am playing with, it feels insanely hard to me. It feels like knowledge and power, and I don't have any of that stuff. Even though I low-key would rebrand my entire channel to just being Among Us gameplay, if I had the capacity to do it, I'm not going to. My very tiny brain is holding me back. Also, side note, is it incredibly weird that I was invited into a group with people who are that cool? Like, I played with Nexpo, for God's sakes. It's absolutely weird. I am a little sunburnt mushroom who deserves to be stepped on, and people being nice to me, unacceptable. To the ranch. I only bring that up because most YouTubers want to make videos that they know their subscribers want to watch, and videos that they feel like people would be interested in, while also making content that they hope and pray will stay on platform. They want to make unproblematic content that simply says a certain thing while being entertaining. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But am I, Shannon, Creepshow Art, going to do that today? Am I going to make things easy peasy lemon squeezy for myself? No, absolutely, I am not. Because again, my name is Shannon, and I have to make things 100% more difficult than it has to be all the time. I literally have a full ass list of topics that are easier to talk about, videos that won't be taken down, won't be targeted by the person I'm discussing. But am I going to do that? No, because today we are going to be talking about a man who is known for taking down and falsely copyright striking any videos that talk about what he has done, brags about getting said videos that are made on him and his actions taken down, a man who got so mad at the smallest bit of criticism that he spent weeks tweeting about it, and a man who somehow, someway, despite all of this, has almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. By the way, have I mentioned who we're talking about is yet? I feel like I have, but I also don't feel like I can trust myself in the slightest, especially with quarantine brain. So, I don't know, but if we have it, we're talking about Antunes, my dudes. Also, before I get into the nitty-gritty of the situation, tell you what everything that's been going on, a fair few different channels are being negatively affected by this guy. Spoiler alert, he has been falsely copyright striking videos that talk about his actions, and because of that, YouTube has been taking them down and like attacking the channels. A lot of different things have been happening. He's also falsely accused a bunch of different people of a bunch of different things, which he has no facts or figures to go with, so it's just genuinely not a good situation. So in order to counteract that, I am going to leave the YouTube channels of everyone who has been affected by this person in the description down below. And if you feel so inclined, you don't have to, but if you feel inclined to, go to these channels and leave them some positivity. Tell them, hey man, good job, give them some hearts, whatever you want to do, because they honestly deserve some kindness right now. But with that being said, let's jump into this. For those of you who aren't aware, which I'm sure is a lot of you, Antunes is a 31-year-old animation YouTuber who has over 900,000 followers and is quickly approaching the 1 million mark. He is most well known for his videos like Sonic Funeral, Sonic's Deathbed, SpongeBob's Deathbed featuring Felix the Cat, Sonic Heaven, and more videos like that basically center around a well-established character of some series that he does not own dying and then being dead, and people's reactions to that character being dead, which I don't know if I have to say that, but that's kind of weird. However, apparently this content is a banger. It super bangs on the YouTube platform, especially because he is using other people's work to sell it. But I'm not quite there yet. I straight up had never heard of this man before I was made aware of this situation, so I wanted to get a handle on who he was and what he made. And I cannot tell you how weird it was to see that this man's #1 most watched video of all time is honest to God, a straightforward video of what he thinks Sonic's funeral would be like. It's not even a joke. It's not funny. It's played completely straight, and it's somber and it's sad, and it's a video where Sonic is now dead. The man animated what he think would happen if Sonic straight up died, with somber ass music and Amy Rose and Tails just sobbing, and then Tails tries to jump into the grave. He tries to jump into the grave to be buried with Sonic. And I have no words for this. Like, why would you do this? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how you got the idea, but this has 100 million views on it. 100 million. What the F? It's just, there's nothing outwardly wrong with this. It's just weird. I mean, I shouldn't say there's nothing outwardly wrong with this, because there is an issue with Anton, who by all means is a talented artist who has an established art style who could easily make these animations himself. But he doesn't, because he decides to trace those characters from other properties he's using and uses other people's art in order to make money, which, you know, is a bad thing. Making money off of someone else's work, that's a bad thing. You're not supposed to be doing that. This isn't me trying to say that fan works or fan animations are bad and shouldn't be done, mind you. I don't want there to be any misinterpretation, because there are plenty of fan animators who create things entirely themselves but simply use established characters to do so. They draw everything, they work on everything. Take, for example, any of the Starbomb music videos that are animated by various talented artists. Most of those artists are putting their own spin on established characters or a property and, you know, making parody and literally not taking other animators' work and saying, well, this is mine now, because that's a scummy thing that only scumbags do. However, Anton feels differently though, seeing as it's a staple of what he does. His most popular series, which again is where he just decides to kill every cartoon that has nostalgia linked to it, which is super weird, that series is almost entirely traced work, because why wouldn't it be? He saw an opportunity to make money by using other people's works and he took it. He even traced over one of the most well-known scenes in Rick and Morty as if no one would notice, which I don't know. It seems like a lot, but how does this 31-year-old man who has 100 million views on YouTube justify doing this? How does he justify taking other artists' work and saying that they're his own? Well, he says the same thing I said in 6th grade, and I traced over Yumi from Hi Hi Puffy Yami Yumi. He just says he does it because he wants to make sure he gets the established characters to look as closely as he can to their properties, which, no shit, that's what tracing is. That's not a reason. But like doing it, that's such a non-answer, because of course you wanted to get the thing you traced to look like the thing you were tracing. Obviously, that doesn't justify the actions, sir. But he went on to say this to Dapina.
Because again, I wanted to have the same type of style as the original. Just
My reasoning is, did you attempt to draw it first?
no, because it takes obviously it feels just useless even. Because in the end, I want to recreate the same. I want to have the exact same style which the original artist was going for. If I were to do it myself and still get the same result, then what's the point? If the result would be the same.
So we have a man who is super keen on tracing and making money off of other people's work, and is super proud of that fact. He's not even mad that it's being called out. He is happy to let you know that the majority of the work he is praised for doing is not done by him. And usually this would be where the video ends. This would be enough for me to make a video on it. Like, tracing, making money off someone else's work, yeah, that's enough. I would end here. I would point at it, I would say bad thing bad, and that would be it. It'd be fine. But oh my god, it gets so much worse, my dudes. This is not even the tip of the iceberg. This is like a little snowman on the tip of the iceberg. It's nothing. You see, despite Anton having almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube, he is also well known on Twitter for his political cartoons, like this one, which says, then gay rights, now trans rights, later pedo rights. Which, no, Anton, no. To pretend like being a part of the LGBT community and pretend like giving gay men and women marriage rights and pretend that trans rights have anything to do with pedophilia is beyond stupid. Like, the correlation just simply isn't there, because one is a group of people who just wants equal rights, and the other are literal criminals who 100% of no one with brain cells respects at all. Are there pedophiles who are publicly stating they want to see this? Yes, absolutely. Twitter is a cesspool, but those are pedophiles. Why respect their opinions on anything? Just don't do that. Everyone and their mother's uncle's butts calls them out. So to put forth a narrative that supporting trans people and trans rights somehow will degrade society to the point of us being accepting of literal pedophiles, that is beyond stupid, because it's not happening. You have no facts to point to. You have no logic to point to. You're just saying, well, this is a thing I've decided is happening, and therefore it is. I never get political on this channel, because politics are very broad and a complicated subject, and in order to make apt political commentary, it takes a lot of time, research, and care, and I can't trust myself to do that well. I really can't. And that is mainly the reason why I hate political cartoons. Because what is the argument here? That gay men and women shouldn't be allowed to get married because you think it will lead to pedophilia? What are the stats on that? Where's the proof? Anton, what is the logic behind this argument? Did someone just say, oh, this is funny, so I'm going to do it? What are you trying to state here? What is the message here? No, you just think it's apt commentary despite the fact that nobody is fighting for this besides predators. Alright, glad you conflated the issue to a nonsensical degree in order to get people to agree with your political stance and demonize a whole group of people and demonize a whole movement that you apparently know nothing about. Or what about this cartoon, where his weird penis-nosed character is trying to hit on some person and she rejects him, only for him to point to a Black Lives Matter sign so she goes along with him? I don't even know what the message is supposed to be here, but I will tell you one thing, it's stupid. It's a stupid message, it makes no sense. This would, what kind of commentary? Again, I despise most political comments because they simply spout out platitudes without any thoughtful research and simply try to make either political party or either agenda look stupid instead of solving any of the problems that need to be solved. So thank you, Estonian 31-year-old cartoonist. This comic just solved racism. You've done it. We're so proud of you. It also should be noted that Anton has stated publicly he doesn't agree with or believe any of the things that he makes cartoons about. He's stated that before. He just posts these comics saying offensive things to cater to people who do think these things, which straight up is disingenuous and lame, especially when you think of the fact that he gets so mad, he gets big mad when people assume that he means the things he is saying. This man wants free reign to say terrible things and make the worst fucking garbage without people thinking he stands by what he's talking about. It's like if I said I like the color purple and then got mad at people for thinking that I like the color purple. How dare you make an apt judgment about my thoughts and feelings based off what I have publicly said and done? That is not fair. You can only think and feel things that I approve of you to think and feel. How dare you? Anton's political cartoons started making waves on Twitter with people both supporting him and calling him out, obviously. And through his newfound Twitter political infamy, he ended up talking to another comic creator who made comics that disagreed with his own. And by made comments that disagreed with his own and disagreed with his own stances, I mean, this person simply made a comic that didn't make fun of the trans suicide rate, and their only crime was that they talked positively about being trans. That's it. Which I guess is now something that Anton has a huge issue with, like a massive raging issue with. The man apparently really enjoys the idea of certain people, trans people, committing suicide. And anytime you post positively about trans people, he has a problem with it. Which, to me, goes beyond politics because Jesus Christ. Celebrating people's suicides is a little fucking much. If you are talking politics and someone jumps in to say, I like when this person dies, you know you've messed up somewhere. That's not political anymore. That's just garbage. Anton got into an online spat with this artist, who, mind you, is a 17-year-old. And in this argument, for some reason, don't ask me why, Anton, who thinks the LGBT community has something to do with sexual predators, this 31-year-old decided it would be really cool to ask, again, this minor, this 17-year-old, about their genitals. Let me say that again. This 31-year-old man, for no reason, decided to ask publicly this minor about their genitals. This is the man who thinks talking about gay rights and saying anything about them would lead to normalizing pedophilia. And he is out here doing this. Because of course he is. Let that irony sink in a bit. Let it sink into your skin like water and nurture you. Oh, also, while this is happening, Big Man Anton was also tweeting about how he was being bullied. And how all these people who said, hey, maybe don't joke about trans suicide, they're bullying him. And everyone was just being mean to him. He's making comics celebrating trans people dying, literally making fun of that. But because a 17-year-old tweeted at him, he is now being bullied. This is an adult, by the way. But don't worry, guys, because that's not all. That is not all we have to talk about involving his weird interactions with a 17-year-old on Twitter who he thinks he's being bullied by, despite them pretty much saying, hey man, leave me alone. Because Anton, in his infinite wisdom, then decided, for some reason, to release a clip from an alleged game he is working on where this minor, who he is accused of bullying him, is a boss battle, and their main attack is them shooting blood from their genitals. I'm not kidding. Like I said before, he had to ask the 17-year-old about their genitals, and now he's animating that. Am I going to put the clip in this video? No, because it's weird and stupid and dumb. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Like, it's just so, who even thinks of doing that? That's so bonkers. Again, this is an adult man. This isn't some trip and fall oopsie doodle situation. situation. This man sat down and animated this, which takes hours. He took hours working on this. He didn't just think of it, tweet it out. He animated this. He finished it, he rendered it, he looked at it and thought so highly of this that he then posted this long, painstaking work onto Twitter for the world to see. And he didn't realize that making an image that is supposed to be a minor, that is an avatar for a minor shooting blood out of their genitals as an attack is gross. He didn't even realize that. He didn't even know. That didn't even occur to him once while doing any of this. Now, when he did this, obviously stupid thing, he ended up apologizing to the minor afterwards and taking down the video while stating publicly that they had made amends. He was like, yeah, I may have gone too far. That's my bad. Oops. Because literally everyone, even on his side, even people who like him were like, dude, what the fuck? However, despite him saying that, despite him saying, we've made peace, everything's fine, privately on his Discord, he was bragging about how they, again, the 17-year-old he sexualized, was going to be a useful tool for him to use to get to the left, and how he would be waiting until they, quote, turn 18 so they can, again, quote, go in on them. Have I mentioned how literally none of this is normal? None of it. Creators, normal people, YouTubers, nobody talks like this. I have talked to plenty of people online. I just got finished talking to Premic about candles, and not one person has ever talked to me like this or talked about someone they don't like this. This is gross. This is weird. This is beyond bonkers. This man thinks he's a mad scientist who is going to take over the world, and while at the same time being so sensitive that every time someone disagrees with him or tweets about how they don't like him, he has to cry about it on Twitter. However, let's reel it back, Shannon. Save that anger for later. Is this all? Is this everything? Is this all I have to say about this situation? No, of course not. Because after this situation occurred, after the Discord messages were leaked, after everything was happening, other creators like Daft Pina and Izzy Is started to make videos on his actions, because obviously you can't stand by, like, obviously what he was doing is bonkers. They started to make videos, and Anton, in his infinite wisdom, decided he would go on the offensive, claiming that Izzy is a predator with literally no evidence. Like, this man stated straight up that this other person whose only crime was making a video on his public actions was a sexual predator because, get this, they are a predator because they support the LGBT community. And he says that's enough to know that they're a sexual deviant, that they prey on minors. Hey, Anton, I'm bisexual. Are you going to say that I'm one as well? Despite the fact that I have literally started FBI investigations against that shit. The man really called someone a predator, said they prey on children because they're supportive of the LGBT community. According to him, with no evidence, with no research behind that now includes sexual deviance. Which, no, it doesn't. It quite literally never has. The only people who believe that are fringe idiots who don't actually look at the facts and just say shit because they don't like the dreaded gays. They don't like that community, so they're going to spew shit with no evidence. This man truly is an idiot. An idiot with over 900,000 subscribers who's comfortable saying people are sexual predators with literally no evidence and stands by that while also talking about minor genitals. Make it make sense. It does not. Not only did he falsely accuse someone of being a predator, not only did he knowingly do that, he also falsely copyright struck any video that was made on the situation, including Daft Pina's, Izzy Is, and now prison mate Luke's. Because according to him, according to Anton, it's easier to falsely copyright strike than to put in a defamation claim. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a girl who failed out of community college. But I believe that is grounds to get his YouTube channel terminated, seeing as he's full out admitted in screenshots to putting false copyright strikes on other people's content. I'm just saying, if someone is ballsy enough to admit to putting false claims through, and we have proof of him saying that, LOL, yeah, they were false, and I'm just doing it to get the videos taken down, that's abuse of the system, and he can be reported for it, I believe. I had so much more to say. And originally at this point, I was just going to go on a full-blown rant about how this person is terrible. But this man truly is one of the most disingenuous people on this platform. I mean, maybe he's behind Jeffree Star, maybe, but I don't know. This man spews disgusting, hateful things constantly and makes it a point to cater to a crowd of people who think joking about trans suicide is cool, while privately saying he doesn't believe in any of that. If his fans on Twitter who love his political cartoons knew how little he believed in what he was saying and doing, they wouldn't follow him. And if his YouTube subscribers knew how bonkers and how terrible he truly was, they also would bounce. They would peace out. And he lies so often, constantly, blatantly for no reason. The man is a step above bonkers at this point. He will gladly use his large platform to falsely accuse someone of being a predator simply because he doesn't like them, and he thinks that's acceptable. He will admit to lying to people, lying about people, and lying just to get his point across simply because he decided that everyone who doesn't like him is bad and he wants to use them as, quote, political pawns. He is a jerk. He is gross. And at this point, I don't know what else to say, what else to do, other than tell you what he's done. There's nothing I can say to make it make sense. If anything good, if anything positive can come from this video, I hope it's that you guys go to the people who have been negatively affected by him, and go and support them. I'm going to go ahead and link Izzy Is, Daft Peanut, Puppy Chan, Prisonmate Luke, like I said, in the description down below. And if you guys could go and leave them some positive comments, I know it would mean the world to them and to me. They are going through this insanity, and with being called predators and just being taken down by this guy, it's a lot and it's not alright. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think of this situation. Have you watched any of his content? Did you watch any of his content? What did you think of him? What part made you crazy the most? Because for me, it was the trans suicide thing. But with that being said, I'm out. Later days.